What is up, my friends? Jeff Grubb, you are just sort of giggling like an idiot.
What do you got for me? What do you got?
Yeah, we got the big one. I got to play Metroid Prime 4 Beyond last week in New York, and it was quite the experience. So we are going to take a look at about an hour or so condensed footage of my playthrough through a bit of a first area here, kind of the first parts of the game. I want to answer your questions. You can sort of like guide me in a way that you extract as much information as you can out of me. We can only really talk about this first part of the game, which takes place in a spot called Fury Green.
Did they give you the ability to play more than that, but you can only talk about a certain part, or what?
So I believe I played another part that people had already seen before, what is my understanding. But in terms of like
that could
what
have
we
been
can
like what
talk about,
Dan got a chance to play like the Switch 2 launch event, I think.
Yeah, I'm imagining that's what it was.
Okay.
But this part was played with me sitting with a Pro Controller in a 55-inch TV about a foot in front of my face. This game looks absolutely unbelievable. So let's just start the footage here a little bit. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that looks sick.
Striking in a way that I really can't describe. I mean, almost immediately I was blown away.
That's always been Metroid Prime from the beginning. It was immediately lauded for having some of the greatest like art direction, art design you could get in a game, and I always pointed out like the review from EGM, Mark McDonald's, like it feels like the best game from 5 years in the future got released today, and that held true. And it's awesome to see that they could still build on that legacy, because this looks fantastic. It's lush and cool. Is this like the very beginning of the game, Bakalar?
I believe there's one scene before this,
okay,
but yeah,
sure.
This is like the very start. And it's based, this area, which, we'll watch a little bit. Like it's got Pandora vibes for sure.
Yeah,
like
that. The bioluminescence looks very HDR friendly. Yeah.
There is like a big tree as well that you sort of see, and I was like, oh, this is like a sort of like an Avatar situation going on here. But it's funny. Like I played a little bit of the remaster, and it was not long before I was like, oh right, I know exactly how to play this game.
Yes.
And all that continues on in a very satisfying way, and I think like for me, there's a bit of not a learning curve, but there's a certain language that the controls of Metroid Prime like ask of you.
Yeah.
And before my hour was done, all of that really resynced in my sort of mental capacity. And this is the Pandora part I was talking about. I mean,
real quick on the controls. So like the original Metroid Prime, not a dual stick first-person shooter. It was, you kind of move and look around with the one stick, and then you lock on, and that's how you strafe. Then with the remaster, they did make it a dual analog, like modern style shooter. So I'm sure that's what's continuing here.
Right.
That felt good in Metroid Prime Remaster. Did you get a chance though to do the mouse?
No. So I did not do any mouse play. I don't think they were offering that. If they did, I just didn't do it.
Sure.
But this felt good with the lock on and the sort of like more modernized contemporary first person controls.
So this is like, this is them establishing the new planet you're on. Like this, she, maybe you can't tell the details, but maybe she crash landed here, or maybe something like that. It's usually how it goes. Or she's following someone, whatever. Did you spend a lot of time in this lush setting, or does it very quickly sort of like shift gears in terms of the aesthetic?
Yeah, so the part of the demo or the game rather that I played was just this area.
Okay. All right, so substantial.
So we're not really, and it's very large, and you'll see like I do make a decent amount of progress during this entire sort of playthrough, and there is and they do introduce like a lot of very interesting mechanics almost immediately. In a way that I'm like, oh wow, the sort of like object acquisition is like fast and and satisfying in a really cool way.
Do you think that suggests that there's like way more abilities and powers that can sustain it over the course of this entire game.
That's my suspicion, right?
I'm
like
with
if
you,
they
yeah.
are, if they're dumping this amount of stuff on you so quickly, I got to imagine like something, it stands to reason, right? Like,
Yes.
I think this is our first power up.
Okay. Does she already have psychic powers? Psychic glove.
There you go.
That's a hell of a name. I like that a lot. Okay.
Dude, this stuff, I just got to say, like, all of these psychic abilities, unless I'm completely forgetting the first 3 primes.
No,
like, this stuff feels fresh in a way that I was like really cool with.
This is the new stuff. This is the thing where it's like, yeah, it's Metroid Prime, but, and this is the big but of like, we have psychic powers now, and how is that going to change her abilities? So what does it enable you to do? Like, I see this thing, it's like you can interact with this door, maybe?
Yeah, so it took me a couple seconds to kind of figure out, like, what is this saying? What am I supposed to do? But basically the psychic power stuff allows you to like harness energy and also direct energy.
Okay.
And control certain objects with your kind of like, with your glove, with your psychic, spin on things. So it is separate. It's basically like an alt mode that Samus sort of enters, right? And you see like, oh, okay, now I can grasp this power energy and toss it into that, which unlocks something. So there's that layer of puzzle solving and mechanics that are now at your disposal.
Yeah, that does seem like it would create the opportunity for like more puzzle solving. Like, the Metroid Prime games certainly have like the occasional puzzle, but it's not like a ton of that. It's about exploring and using your powers to kind of figure out where you're going, maybe meta exploratory level puzzles. But I can immediately imagine like using these energy things and pulling them out of certain things and putting them in other things. Did you encounter that frequently?
Yeah, I think I would say like, again, to your point, like definitely light puzzle solving, like nothing cerebral in a way where it's like, I can't advance here. Okay, now I discovered a morph ball area that I believe leads to the missile unlock.
Okay. Yeah, the morph ball, they got that right away. And I remember back in the day being like, all the conversation of, oh, it's going to be first person, but then let's go to third person for the morph ball. This game's going to suck. Just make another 2D Metroid. We were wrong. It was perfect right away.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff still feels great. Like, it's definitely, I think like they do a really smart job of like balancing how often you are playing as the ball. I think like the beauty of those first 3 games is a really good balance of all that. And even in this first hour of playing, you're sort of like, oh, okay, I'm doing this enough. I'm doing it, it's as much as I want to be
deployed sparingly with like, oh, you always want to do it again, but they kind of take it away. All right, leave them wanting more.
For sure.
This looks like it's leading to like maybe a mini boss or something like that, or what?
Not this scene here. I think it's just more a little bit of a narrative cinematic.
Yeah.
But certainly like a diverse, biome here in this early parts.
Yeah. So they're like, I could see it's like this overall aesthetic, but yeah, there's more to it than just lush green. They are taking you this kind of dingy under the tree area.
What now?
Oh, the coolest person in the universe walks up to this guy.
Please get me down.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I got like a bit of a buffoon.
Yeah, you got your Jar Jar Binks here, yeah.
I got like a clumsy boy here.
So like, he's a relatively large part of this first portion of the game, you're saying?
Yeah, he sticks with you through the completion of this first area.
Okay.
I don't know how much.
What was that?
I just don't know how much longer he's around. It's interesting.
So does it seem like he's serving the point of, we don't want Samus to talk too much. We want her to still kind of be that mostly silent protagonist. I bet she has a line or two here or there. So if we need someone to kind of help you learn and explore this world and ask questions about this world, is he serving that like expository goal or what?
Yeah, I think in the portions that I played, he does provide functionally, like, there's some hints he drops. I think expositionally, he's more familiar with the area than you are.
Right. Okay.
And understands how certain, like, items get powered, and he's like, hey, why don't you go over there and charge this thing up and kind of help me out with that. That's kind of what his purpose is serving. You'll see in a few minutes, like, there are a couple of scenes where he is your sort of you have to sort of escort him, but I did not find it to take away from the experience. I don't know if my opinion will be the universal opinion,
right.
but I kind of like having him around.
Okay. I'm getting on board with it, because it's like just that moment of her walking up to him and him clearly being a goofball and out of his element. It really does put in stark contrast, like, just how dangerous and capable Samus is, and I like
right.
that comes across instantly by contrast. And so if that's what they're going for, I think that could really hit.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, there's going to be, I don't know the level of involvement that
right.
Mackenzie, like, goes beyond the area that I played here. But I think it's a very, from my point of view, I think it's a very sort of, like, safe attempt to kind of get, and like, to get Samus's personality out a little more too, because she does just, like, more acknowledge than say anything. She didn't say anything in this part I played.
She has, like, in Metroid Dread, she has one line of dialogue. Like, that's where they're at with that character, and I love that.
Yeah, and I think Mackenzie's sort of, like, doing all the talking better demonstrates the sort of, like, personality that Samus is, like, possessing. Do you know what I mean? Like, or presenting, rather.
I'm just gonna stay out of your way. You let me know when it's clear.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a lot of that.
Sure. It just adds. It looks like it's just adding a little bit of danger to the conflict, making giving you another point of interest to worry about during the combat.
Yeah, I think it's it's like it adds something, right? I know I called it humanizing it before. It definitely
I think
adds
that's
a
right.
little bit of something.
Yeah. You're like there's a character that you need to, even if you don't care about it, it's your responsibility now as this person who's so capable. And yeah, there's something to that. Psychic charge beam.
Yes, so this is the projectile that you can control once you shoot it.
Okay. Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
Right, that probably factors into solving puzzles as well, I'm betting.
Yes,
okay.
And they give you a first crack at it right here.
Okay, yeah, look at that right away.
And so that's what's interesting. Like, when I think Metroidvania, I think a lot of times of, like, I see the thing I meant to do at some point, and I'll have to come back. For this area, it's like linear Metroidvania, if that makes sense. You're just sort of, like, in the same room.
Yeah, there's probably just establishing a lot of tutorialization, like you're saying, and probably a lot of table stakes of, like, this is the stuff that we don't want to be coy about. You're just going to go do this right now.
Yeah.
All right, so this, I think this whole area is beginning to feel like onboarding, where they're just trying to make you super comfortable with everything, and he's serving that goal, at least at this point.
Right.
I will be curious to see how they sort of, like, if they begin stripping these training wheels away from you, and how that works.
Yeah, they were definitely, like, a welcome tutorial for sure, because, like I said, you do get bombarded with a good amount of abilities out of the gate,
right?
And it's not long before you basically are forgetting, like, oh,
you have a whole toolkit.
This mode, you're like, oh, this mode is the psychic, like, especially with the sort of the psychic ability, like. After I played, I'm like, okay, I get it now. All the things where I'm meant to kind of, like, telepathy, through telepathy, control items, we file all that under this psychic ability. There's a few other things that get crossed over with it towards the end where you're like, oh, wow, I can do that too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this data chip.
Just give it to me. Okay. Yeah, cool character being cool.
That is fascinating. Thank you.
She says so much without saying anything.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they got some good body language happening.
Yeah. It is the most human person Samus has ever been.
Uh-huh.
Should do the trick.
Oh wow, memory fruit. That's fun.
Okay.
There you go.
This is
God, I just hope
like
you
a
like fruit. I hope you
memory-
like fruit.
Is this gonna like the main collectible, right? Memory fruit, or like it's important to the story? How does memory fruit factor in?
It's these crystals that you are,
Okay.
I believe, you are meant to collect, and then put it into your little mall kiosk here.
All right, sure, yeah. No, Mike Minotti will hate it until it turns into crystals. I think then it'll be okay. He's a crystal mommy, not a fruit daddy.
It's true. Yeah, so like the psychic lock stuff, the psychic energy stuff, they usually have this sort of like 3-chambered look to them. So I think
Right.
that is probably like a design cue, some visual language that is telling you like when you encounter these items, that is when you must use the psychic beam.
Okay.
So that sort of like, hey, hit all these at once, that continues to be a theme throughout the preview here.
I like the way the camera looked as well when it was following that thing, where it's like you were turning, you did this big 90-degree turn, but the camera moved really smoothly in a way that did not feel disorienting. So yeah, it just feels well designed and people that kind of know what they're doing.
So I'm starting this boss fight and I'm like, all right, I understand the loop here. I understand sort of what I'm meant to do. You'll see what I've started to discover
Okay.
as we play here. At this point, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like a quarter of the way through this boss and I'm stuck.
Uh-huh. At this point, I probably would start like trying different things, but okay, let's see. Okay.
And I think right around here is where I realize what I need to be doing.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah. That we just learned recently. All right, and so everything slows down. All right, this okay, yeah.
Now
Right
I've
now, they're
unlocked
both
the
destroyed at the
vulnerability.
same time.
Right, exactly. And now it's vulnerable again.
Baller. Okay, very cool.
And then after this boss fight, there's one more sort of mechanic introduction that they do, which is pretty slick.
Man, an early game giant plant boss is also a Metroid Prime staple, so...
Oh, hell yeah. And they all just turn into power-ups, which makes sense.
Of course. That's... Oh, man, if my ops turned into special abilities as I defeated them, that'd be much better. Oh, Psychic Bomb, right. Okay.
Psychic Bomb.
Psychic Bomb.
Which this was maybe, I mean, this boss fight was really, really good. But as you could see there, you can harness the bombs.
Right.
So if you put a bomb in the real world, you can psychically control it.
They have a
Like
psychic
you can
mode
those-
inside of them if you press
Yeah.
a certain button to launch them? Okay.
I think you just have to hold down the bomb button.
Right, that's what it was saying. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can suck it in the way you were sucking in those energy balls before, and then
Okay.
projectiling them out, which is really cool. Here is where the psychic bomb comes into play.
Okay.
So you can basically like suspend them. You basically
Right.
can have it not
Right, not on a
explode.
timer. Okay.
Right. And then I just missed it there. It
Fades
disappeared.
away,
But
yeah.
watch.
Okay.
And then you can harness it.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. you can see how
Pretty
this is going to
cool.
factor into a lot of puzzles.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so wait, are you going to a different part of the map now?
So this, I believe this was the end. Yeah, we probably have to stop here. But yeah,
Okay.
that's my, yeah, this is when someone came over to me and was like, okay, stop.
Yep.
But
That
there you
move from
go.
PR, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so your takeaway, you kind of touched on a little bit already, though, was you played this, you were super into it, and you were thinking about it for a long time after you were finished. You are into what you played.
It is absolutely, it's just something that I've been so happy to be reintroduced to, because I think enough time has gone by since 3, and I only touched the remaster to just sort of remind myself of it, more as like a tease for 4, to be honest. But I'm very happy and confident to say that like this feels exactly like the thing that I have been missing. A really awesome updated feel to it, even if you consider the sort of like humanization of having that Mackenzie character. I think this game feels large and beefy and important in a way that, you know, I also didn't really know what to expect based off all these trailers that we were seeing, right?
Yep.
And now knowing what I know, I feel like there's this massive sort of adventure in front of me, and how big this game kind of feels.
Yep.
I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think there's enough new sort of flavoring that has me really intrigued about how those elements are going to be utilized in a lot of the puzzles, and those classic, kind of like Metroid dangling the carrot sort of mechanics. I got to imagine there's, if you're getting all that stuff up front, what does that mean for the rest of the game? Like, that's exciting to think about. So yeah, it's, really out of the gate, very strong first hour, incredibly visually striking. And yeah, man, I don't know what it is. I am just like, I am all in on this thing. I'm really, really excited by what I saw.
That is, oh boy, that gets me super excited. I think last thing, because I do think coming out of these previews, the one that you're doing right here for our people, the thing that people are going to latch on to, because people get anxious about the game they're looking forward to not being exactly what they wanted. Like, what would you say to people like to sort of set their mind at ease about Mackenzie, at least as far as you know? Obviously, you don't know where it's going, but it didn't seem to bother you.
No, it definitely didn't bother me at all. I, in some ways, kind of enjoyed it. I think they obviously were very self-aware about like what introducing a sort of NPC like that will do, and I think based off what I've played and seen so far, they've been very conscious of that, and the threading of that needle so far to me has been pretty well done. I'm not worried about it, because like I also am just like, hey, this is what they want to do. This is the game they want to make. I'm excited for that, and to see where that goes. I'm in no way thinking about Mackenzie in a way that I'm like, well, you're gonna see how that plans out. Like, no, it's a non-factor for me, if that answers the question.
Yep. I seeing it personally, it's like I'm not worried about it in this moment. Let's see.
No.
I'll see where it goes, but and who knows? Maybe I'll end up really enjoying the fact that he's there. He might open up some new possibilities.
We don't know what we don't know, right? Like, we don't know how long he sticks around. We don't know if there's other people. We don't know how involved their existence becomes. I think that first hour feels good. So,
Excellent.
Not worried about it right now.
Very cool. Bakalar, thank you so much for showing me around, man.
Of course, this was a pleasure. Thank you, Grub, for keeping me on track, asking all the right questions.
Game's out December 4th on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.